Hello, I'm Sébastien Combéfis, professor teaching future computer science engineering students, and I will present you a work about reinventing evaluations with competency-based assessment. So the context, the motivation of the work is to propose better evaluations to students, because typically students are afraid of evaluation. They see it as a constraint imposed by the professor. Here, the idea is to reconcile them with the idea of assessment, and also to have a way to develop evaluations that are better adapted to each student's learning profile, and to be able also to take into account the personal projects they are working on. Because typically students are working on project on their own side, and then they cannot make it count. The second motivation is to provide the instructors, the teachers, with better idea about how the students evolve during the semester. And the idea of this data is to help the instructors to better individualize, better personalize the learning experience of each student, because if the professor has a better view of how the students are performing. So the idea is to have a device based on competency. So each course is described with basic and advanced competencies. And for a student to succeed a course, he or she has to acquire all the basic competencies, and then he can also acquire some advanced ones. A course is also defined with a list of assessments that cover all the competencies, and you have different kind of assessments, multiple choice question, quizzes, projects, interview, case studies, etc. And in fact, each student is offered the possibility to choose the ones that better fit their own way to learn, and with as goal, of course, to prove to the teacher that he or she master at least all the basic competencies and maybe some advanced ones. Here is the students that want to prove to the professor that they master competence. And also students do not fail anymore because they just miss one opportunity to evolve in one competency. They can take other assessments after if they want to prove the STAR. And what's this STAR ID? It's what we use in the tool that we developed to support this pedagogical device. So here you can see a screenshot of the main screen for one course. You see 4 basic competencies, and the student already acquired 3 stars. And how the student can acquire these stars? Just by presenting an assessment. And if the student succeeds in the presentation, he will acquire some stars there. So the student can track their own progress, and the teachers can get some statistics about each student and about the classroom with this tool. An experiment has been carried on during previous academic year on 9 courses, and since this test has been carried other courses not following this approach, some adaptations have been proposed. And the main one is about the grade. So the idea here is that if a student did not master all the basic competencies, he just got 0 out of 20 as a grade. And as soon as he gets all the basic competencies, he will have 10 out of 20 plus the percentage of advanced competencies acquired. Based on the short survey, globally they were happy. And the main reason was that they were able to control their own learning and their evaluation, and they were less afraid to present these evaluations. One of the main issue was logistics one, because all the students came for some of the courses at the end of the semester to present the evaluations, and of course the professor was not able to interview all the students in parallel, so there was some kind of waiting queue at the end of the semester. So as a conclusion, this work presents a new technique to bring competency-based assessments in higher education in a pragmatic and concrete way, which is supported by a tool. And for the future, some different elements have been thought of, improving, adding new features to the STAR system, of course, have some deeper analysis of all the collected data about the evaluations that are passed throughout the semester, to see if it's possible to extract some kind of student learning profile that can help the teacher to better adapt his teaching. And also, third point is about how to help people design a course that fit this approach. It's also a future work that has to be done, as well as integrating the STAR system with other tools for better logistics, for example, with the video conference tool or other tool that can help the assessment presentation to be more fluid.